Welcome to the Talon Outdoors Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
Captain Paul Tyre.
And I'm Grant.
We have a noticeable absence in the room today.
Yeah, we do.
It's about time.
This will be G-rated show.
Yeah.
Thank God, I can get some words in there.
It's a G-rated show.
So
Bring the kids in.
We're missing Fred today. He had a wedding this time, I think. A wedding. It wasn't a funeral because he wasn't. He wasn't
He's
somber
not in the
about it.
Bahamas.
He wasn't in mourning.
Climbing up trees.
But he might have been mourning for his weekend.
Well, Fred going to a wedding. There's going to be some drinking going on because any excuse.
Imagine
or
hiring,
no excuse.
Imagine hiring Fred to sing at the wedding.
It could have been that. You never know.
I would go to that. I'm just saying.
Well, he has his little book of songs that with his own lyrics, and they are definitely interesting. You know, that is an entertaining fella right there. He's something else. He is something else. That is for sure. Oh man,
Lord
so yeah, we were talking. I was hauling tail trying to get here today. I overslept. I have not had a good night's sleep. Better part of a week. I just wake up in the middle of the night. My mind's going somewhere else. I'm one of those guys where my brain just goes and goes and goes, and I can't go back to sleep. And I get on my phone, and next thing you know, I hear my wife's alarm go off. It's like, okay, I can get some sleep now. And you know, and for summer and last night, so the Friday, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office having the golf tournament to benefit the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch, and I slept late, and I missed a perfect opportunity. I wanted to go out there because Donna said, "Yeah." I said, "What time's the thing?" I want to go out there and say hey to a couple people, and she goes, "It's at this time." And she goes, "Well, the ball drop is at so-and-so." And I said, "Okay, so explain that to me." She goes, "Well, the helicopter's going to fly over and going to drop a bunch of golf balls, and they're numbered, and the one closest to the hole on the 18th green or whatever, and da-da-da-da." And she said, "I've got to go out there and sell balls." And I'm like, And I said, so what time do I get to come out there and go, "Hey, Sheriff, I want to get here. I heard your balls were dropping today, and I wanted to be here." And I missed the perfect opportunity to get there because I overslept. Because
you were laid up all night thinking about that joke.
because I was working on the golf cart that my wife was going to take out there. One of the old ones from the range that I bought, and I gave to put it at Ann's house and to something. And I had to clean all the battery terminals, and it wouldn't work. It rode from her house up to the house, put it on the charger. Something's going on with it. I don't know what's wrong with it. And it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm still getting that thing fixed.
Yep.
And had it fixed, and then it broke this morning. And so anyway, I missed that chance, and I kicking myself for it because that was a perfect opportunity for me to. Now the funny thing is last night I told my wife I'm gonna go do this joke. I'm gonna go out there just to say that.
Yeah.
And so don't nobody tell him because I might do it next year. And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go by there and I'm gonna say so and so." And she looked at me and went, "Well, yeah, they're dropping the balls at like 8:30 or 8 o'clock." I went, "No, you missed a joke." And she goes, "Huh?" And I'm like, "See, every man listening to this show knows the old thing about know."
Yes, we know.
Yeah, we know. And but she didn't get it. She didn't get it.
Fred would have a lot to say about that.
I just got through telling people this was going to be a G-rated show.
There is nothing G-rated about it. There's no sexual innuendo in that. It's simply an age-related thing that happens in pre-adolescent males as you get older.
Okay.
He ain't old enough to the old sayings and stuff.
I know.
Anyway,
yes.
You don't grow up on a farm.
Yes,
anyway.
Yes, we know.
So. Anyhow, and I walked in and I called and I texted y'all and I'm like, "Man, I'm running 30 minutes late." I ended up being like 15 minutes late. And I walk in the door and I hustle by. I see JD at the counter and I heard him saying something about a gun. And I walked in the studio and wasn't none of y'all here.
We was waiting on you.
I got in a hurry for.
We was waiting on you.
I was getting educated about
something
Glocks and.
So there was an encounter, and that's what was interesting to me and what started this topic of conversation, which nobody knows what it was because I've gone 5 different directions so far since we started the show, was somebody walked in and wanted to buy a firearm for their wife, and I want a revolver. And I heard JD say things we've parroted over and over and over again over the years, because we firmly believe it. We just picked the hardest gun in the case to shoot.
Well, they specifically wanted a lightweight 38 snub-nosed revolver.
Yeah. Right. And I heard, and I remember saying, why? And then I walked on out the room because I knew the conversation that was about to ensue. And I came back a little while ago, right before we started recording the show, and you got every semi-automatic mid-size on the case out there going over all the different things, and they are now firmly on the route to buy exactly what they should be buying.
She had some improper instruction at some point in time in her life, because the next question I asked was, have you ever had any professional training? And the answer was no. But I had training from my brother-in-law, my whoever-in-law, cousins, brothers, uncles, cousins. Yeah. And I said, and I bet they showed you to rack the slide like this. And she said, uh-huh. I said, well, that's why you can't rack the slide. So let me show you this. So I showed her the correct way, and she's like, oh, well, that's easy. Yes, ma'am, it is. Once you learn the technique, I said, and then I can tell you why you're missing, because you were, just trigger control. So we just talked through some of that and basically taught them how to buy a gun today, right now, until they go get some training with somebody and maybe go rent some different guns or whatever else. So I turned down a gun sale. I basically talked them out of a gun sale because I wanted them to get the right thing and not. I can almost
guarantee they will buy that firearm here.
Well, yeah, probably.
Well, that's the value that you have here. I mean, this is not Walmart. You come into here, that's like, I want to learn how to shoot a Glock.
A handgun. Yes.
Never used them.
Yep.
Don't have no experience with them. Shot revolvers. Done that. Well, one time I used it, cut me. I'm like, well, why would I use a gun like that? Because I wasn't taught right. So what I asked you, JD, would you be willing
yes, I will.
to take the time and
Absolutely.
show me properly how to, what
Absolutely.
I mean?
Semi-auto cut you or revolver cut you?
The thing that, no.
The slide. Okay, so semi-auto did.
You got slide bite.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, which is the reason I can't shoot those old Diamondback 380s. JD and I both will end up with a crease across the top of our hand with those things.
Little bitty guns.
Yeah.
But if you shoot with your thumb over behind the grip, your support side thumb behind the grip, and a lot of people come up here and do that, and they'll slice their thumb every time.
What's the first thing I said? Both thumbs on the same side.
I heard you say that. So, and that young man, what was it I was talking to?
Ryan.
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Extremely knowledgeable.
Yeah, the worst gun for me for slide bite, and I cannot shoot a Walther PPK. I could not be James Bond because having meaty hands, that thing, it don't matter how I hold it. If I grip that gun, and it's going to leave train tracks on my.
They're heavy for a little gun anyway.
Yeah, and I see people want to have those, and they're cool guns to look at, and you go, yeah, this is the James Bond gun and whatever else, but they've got a bunch of drawbacks to them. A lot of drawbacks.
Big demand for that new Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0.
Oh my goodness, that is I feel like I'm buying 5 of those every other day because we're going through a lot of them.
And our holster sales on our website, which is, we've removed
selling
our
5 or 6 holsters
just deadgum wallet holsters. Has reinvigorated the whole wallet holster market and the little pocket 380 market. And how many rounds does that thing hold?
With the big magazine, it holds 12 plus 1 in the chamber, and then the small magazine, the flush fit magazine, is 10 plus 1.
Wow, that's a lot for a little pocket pistol.
For a tiny, tiny little gun that essentially fits in the same holster that the original Bodyguard fits in.
Yeah, and so for something to keep in your pocket, and that's there again. Every now and then somebody come along, and they're always redesigning these pistols, tweaking it. Every once in a while, one will just hit the nail right on the head.
Ruger did it first with the Max, the LCP Max, the double stack. Yeah, well,
they widened the grip a little bit.
They did make it a little bit thicker. This Smith & Wesson is just slim and slender, and the grip's long enough to where even somebody with big hands can get a full purchase on the grip, which is important, and they shoot great. Smith & Wesson also redesigned the shield. It's called the Shield X. And I really like it too. It's just a bigger 9mm. So
meanwhile, Glock's just plugging along with the same old pistols.
They work all the time. Yes.
We'll be right back. We're back. We are back. So we were discussing pistol size versus hand size, and anyway.
Yeah, little guns are harder to shoot for everybody. There's smaller guns with a smaller grip. If it doesn't matter if you've got little hands, big hands, whatever. Guns with a less to hold on to are more difficult to shoot. Guns with a shorter sight radius, the distance between the front sight and the rear sight, are more difficult to shoot than guns with a longer sight radius because you have less room for movement on a little bit of movement with a short sight radius is dramatic.
Right.
Is a dramatic amount of difference between where the bullet's going to hit. A longer sight radius, you got a little room for error, if you will. So, you can get a gun that's so tiny. I've got a really tiny C-Camp 380. It doesn't even have sights on it. They didn't even pretend to. They didn't even pretend with that. They're like, this is a point it from 5-7 feet away, point it in the right direction and let her rip. I can still hit the head on a silhouette target at 5 yards with it, just pointing it. But it's not. But it's tiny and it's very easy to conceal, and you can throw it in your pocket in a holster.
You wouldn't want to learn. I got one of those in 32,
Yep.
just like your 380, and you would not want to teach someone to shoot with that.
No,
so
that is a very much a professional's gun.
So law enforcement are all given the same.
Most agencies do.
You know what I mean?
Most agencies, they're going to issue full size or at the very least a compact model, 4-inch barrel, 5-inch barrel, 4 to 5 inch long barrel is a duty size gun, and modern 9mm is going to be 15 to 18 round magazine capacity, and here's the thing: Glock owns about 70% of the law enforcement market across the country. 70% of the cops in the country, roughly, and this number varies from year to year. Glock has had 60+% of the law enforcement market since the early 90s. Okay, Glocks are butt ugly. There is nothing handsome, cool, pretty, design-wise, ergonomically. There's nothing pretty about a Glock. It's probably also the only pistol that you could take out of that case, load it, tie it to the bumper of your truck, pull it down there to the range, and it's going to work when you get there. Yeah. That's how durable they are.
It's the Chevrolet of pistols. It's the Ford
It's the Ford F-150.
Yeah, like you just showed me a 1911, and that looks it's not pretty.
Those are Cadillacs right there. But the problem with the 1911s, I mean, just like JD said,
or you could say it's the Model T.
It is the Model T.
It's the same time frame.
Yeah,
but it's a hot rod, and the ones you buy now are a hot rod version of the Model T. It's been around since a long time. But the thing is when they started taking the old World War I, World War II era 1911s that you could take and you could shake them and they'd rattle.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd almost, you'd feel like the slide was going to come off the dadgum thing. Well, you could throw it in the mud and you're shooting ball ammo, just military ball ammo, full metal jacket, and you could throw it in the mud and pick it up and it would work. I mean, it was designed to work in a battle. But the thing was they weren't known for being the most accurate pistol, so they started accurizing. Okay, and so they would start squeezing the slides down to make the rails fit tighter, and then they started machining them with tighter tolerances, and you fine-tune these things so with the proper ammunition and with the proper magazine and with the proper lubrication and with the proper skill set, those things were tack drivers, and they were very, very accurate, and they're beautiful guns. They're works of art. However, throw them in the dirt. You get a little bit of grit in them. You put the wrong magazine in it. You get
2 boxes of bullets through it. You're done.
And without cleaning, and then you get the wrong kind of ammo. You don't hold it just right. Anything wrong, any dirt, grime, anything that will slow that down. If you drag your support side thumb along the side of that slide just a little bit, just enough to slow that slide down a little bit, shooting that 45 ACP round, where it's a subsonic round by its very nature. Doesn't have the energy, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. And we used to, when we had 1911s on the SWAT team years ago, and the agency was going from whatever we wanted to carry to carrying the what was that gun you hated? The
HK
USP 45, the USP. With the limb trigger in it, but the one thing I will say for that, and then we went to Glocks, And when we would go qualify with the rest of the agency, everybody else in the agency were shooting fine, no malfunctions. The SWAT guys with the 1911s, man, we could clear a malfunction in a heartbeat. Tap, rack, go, because we had to.
Yeah.
And that was shooting Kimber stainless classic 2s, which were a good gun if you run them just right. But there again, you have to have the right magazine. We found that Chip McCormick Power Mags that have the rocket wire springs in them work well. Shooting ball ammo, they work well, but when you're shooting duty rounds, what we're carrying the gold dot hollow points, 230 grain in those. Man, it just they didn't run like they should. And the thing is, you have to fine tune.
Take your beautiful custom, really expensive 1911, and you wear that to show your friends. Put your Glock in your holster if you feel like you got to show it to your enemies.
Listen, I have a drawer full of 1911s in the house, and I love them. But I'm carrying a Glock 48 right now for a reason. Yep. Because I know now if I took my Glock out of my holster right now and I walk into the room and I clear the gun and I take it apart, you're going to go, where'd all the lint come from? And I will every couple of weeks. I'll take that thing and I'll wipe it down and put a little oil, just make sure that it's good. Doesn't have too much. It only takes 5 drops of oil, the Glock. So you don't want too much on there. But I carry it every single day, everywhere I go. And so, yeah, it picks up lint like a belly button. I mean, it is just gone. It's there.
I take mine once a week to the air gun back there and blow the junk out of it. But
and if you do that with a 1911, so if you are a 1911 fan, which I am, I'm an advocate for owning them, just not carrying them every day, unless you are going to clean it weekly. You're going to take every week, like clockwork. You're going to disassemble that thing, and you're going to clean it correctly and lubricate it correctly, and then you're going to make sure that anytime you get out in the weather, you get off a tractor, you shoot it, anything at all, that you make sure that thing gets clean. If that's your lifestyle, so be it. Bless your heart, you go ahead and carry one. And if you're going to open carry, man, that's a cool gun. If you're going to open carry, you want people to see, you're going to wear it for all the world to see. That's a cool looking one. I still want to get my cowboy rig and put my.
I thought about it this morning. I was in the closet this morning.
We need to get our cowboy rigs and go to lunch one day.
I looked up my gun leather is sitting up on top of the safe, and I just about broke out one of them bright stainless pearl or ivory grip peacemakers and threw in there.
Well, mine fits me. Mine fits me again. I outgrew mine. I couldn't wear it no more. And I'm like, man, I still have all this leather, but I'm back down to a 34-inch waist from 38, and so yeah, I can wear mine again. So.
I almost threw mine on this morning to come to work. So yeah, I was like, yeah, the boys. If I didn't think the boys would have just brutalized me when I got here over wearing it.
We need to work it out one day. We never coordinate shirts, but we'll coordinate gun gear one day. You bring yours in, I'll wear mine in, and
what the?
They'll be ragging you because you always get here, and I'll come walking in later with mine on. And talking about, man, nice rig. We have a saying when we wear the same shirt, and it includes the curse word for butthole. Nice shirt, butthole. Oh man. Oh, this opens up so many possibilities, And
Paul and I started this morning with, we had sold, Dale Bessie had gotten a 20 gauge shotgun to shoot clays with from us.
Right.
And he goes down the range, and the first box he shoots the shells through it were 12 gauge or 20 gauge higher brass. They weren't the full Magnum 20 gauge, but they were higher velocity, whatever else. Where gun worked fine. He had also bought a box of shells from, it really doesn't matter, he didn't buy them from here, but he bought some really low velocity, low charge weight, way less powerful shells, and to go shoot clays with, because it said clays on the box. It said sporting clays or skeet or whatever on the box, with a brand new semi-automatic shotgun. And he calls me up and said, my gun's not working. It shot fine the first time I shot it. It ain't shooting now. I said, did you change shells? First question I asked. Did you change shells? Yeah. Well, there's your problem. Especially on a new semi-automatic shotgun in today's world. Because you're either going to have a gas-operated gun. For the most part, if it's semi-automatic, it's either going to be gas-operated or it's going to be inertia-driven. That's a system that Benelli worked out, and it's a good system. They all require with the inertia guns because they got 2 different springs in there that you're having to wear in parts, and it's going to take a little bit of time to break in. You know, it's kind of like anything mechanical may not work quite as good when it's brand new. Car engines used to have a long or substantial break-in period where you drove it for a couple thousand miles and changed the oil immediately because it's shaving. The reason you had to do that is because that car engine was literally shaving off little pieces of metal. So you wanted to run the outboard motors.
Yep, same thing.
You run it a little while, 50 hours, whatever, 30 hours of run time, 12 hours, whatever the manufacturer says, and then you change the oil because it's got particulate metal in the oil. Well, that gun's doing the same thing. It works. Shotguns, semi-automatic shotguns work a lot like a single piston car engine does.
Yeah.
So you're kind of breaking in all that stuff. So don't give up on a gun if it's malfunctioning every now and then on semi-automatic, especially a shotgun, especially if it's new, and pay attention to the load you're shooting because shotgun shells can go everything from really, really mild, light loads to really, really heavy payload at high velocity. There's a big difference from one load to the other in shotguns, and it takes some time to educate yourself as to what you're operating.
Like a pair of boots or anything else.
Yeah.
Even shooting an accurate rifle, if you break in the barrel correctly, it'll shoot more accurately. I mean,
for a longer period of time.
People don't buy new stuff, think it's going to be just right day one.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a little bit of love on the front end.
Yep. Right. We'll be right back. And we're back. So, Paul, you had a question going into the break about breaking into the guns.
Yes. JD talked about how you break in a car engine, when you break it in, change the oil or outboard motor or whatever. Well, does the same thing with the gun? Do you really break it apart after you've done a certain amount of shells, a new gun?
So here's something that most gun owners do not do, and just about every owner's manual of every gun I've ever seen says to do. Before you ever shoot it the first time, clean it. Most people do not do that. So, and I see people literally come in here and buy a gun from the shop and go straight down there to the range to shoot it. So a lot of manufacturers will put, Glock does this, they put a break-in lubricant, a special lubricant on the slide. So in one of the contact points, they put some anti-seize, just like you would put on a spark plug in an engine so that it helps to break it in.
You see it's got copper-colored.
Copper-colored break-in grease on the Glock. Other companies do this too. But just about every company in the owner's manual will say, clean before you shoot it the first time. And somebody's like, it's brand new. Why do I got to clean it for the first? Well, you have manufacturing giblets, I call them. You'll have little pieces when they manufacture it, when they're cutting the rifling in the barrel, or when they're machining the chamber, or when they're machining the bolt, or they're doing all this machine work. They don't take the time at most manufacturers to go back and make sure that gun is thoroughly cleaned and properly lubricated. A lot of gun companies will put a sticky type lubrication or protectant on there because they have no idea when they manufacture that gun and they put it in the box, how long is it going to sit in that box, and where is it going to sit in that box before that dealer takes it off the shelf and hands it over to you after you've done your paperwork and you're out the door. So they'll put back in the day, the military used to put stuff called Cosmoline on their military rifles. They would the manufacturer would build the rifle, they'd test the rifle, they'd make sure everything's right on it, they would coat it in this stuff called Cosmoline that is a mixture of a petroleum product and wax. It's the nastiest stuff on the planet. Stinks, sticky, gooey wax. They would coat the military guns because they didn't think pack them in a box and ship them on a crate on a ship to go to the war wherever they're at. So modern manufacturers put stuff like that on their guns to protect the finish before it gets sold to the owner. So you need to clean all that manufacturing protectant or whatever, or manufacturing giblets out of the gun. And I've seen guns that would not chamber a round that were brand spanking new, and you could not put a rifle round or a pistol round in the chamber, and you look in there and you can see the little glittery speckles of manufacturing leftover stuff in there, and it just simply needed to be cleaned. And so that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Cleaning guns is important. I had a rifle the other day that someone wanted me to make sure it would shoot safe. It had some mechanical issues, barrel issues, and had to have the end of the barrel cut off and re-crowned. And Charlie, I want you to make sure this thing's safe to shoot. So I got a box of 270 and went out to my farm and put a round in it, and I got as far away from the barrel as I could and pulled the trigger off my shooting bench, and it didn't blow up. So that's how I know it was safe to shoot. I don't have a metallurgical. I don't have any kind of X-rays or anything around here. We just have to go do it. And then I said, long string. And I had cleaned the barrel before I fired it. I went ahead and because he'd had the barrel refinished and the stock refinished, and it was a beautiful old rifle, and with an old scope on it. It had some sentimental value, and I said, well, let me clean the barrel first because I don't know what. And rust came out of the barrel. I mean, it literally, I was cleaning rust out. I was taking my drill bit and a brass cleaning rod and running a brush through there trying to get that stuff out. Cleaned the barrel enough to shoot it. Fired the first time I shot, I couldn't get the brass casing out because it had swollen up and there was corrosion in the bore. So then once I tapped it out, I went back in with a 45 caliber bronze bristle bore brush, and I honed it out smooth so it would do that in the future. But you could see the corrosion in the barrel. Once I got it all out, now it shoots, but the group's big as your fist, not big as your thumb, which it should be. You can still hunt with it, but because it sat so long without being
properly lubricated and protected by gun.
Yeah, and that's what happens is they degrade. So if you don't take care of your stuff, we'll be right back. And we're back.
You been seeing any teal up on the lake?
I've been seeing a few, not a bunch, but I think with this weather we're having coming in, with this front coming in, it's going to be in the low 60s this week coming up. It's going to be beautiful.
I heard a little bit of shooting this past week on Lake Ammonia, but I was coming to work this morning and I came the toll road parkway across the plantation up there north of town, and one of the little almost dry wet weather ponds, or what do you call them, runoff ponds on the side of the road. It had a look at
retention pond.
Yeah, retention pond. That's what I was looking for. Had about 6 inches of water in it, and there was about 20 blue-winged teal out there in that thing.
They were looking for a puddle. There ain't been one for a while. They've been flying around for 3 weeks looking for a puddle.
We ain't had no rain. Oh my gosh!
Thank goodness we got.
Has it been that way at Dothan too, up there at the house?
Yeah, and in Mariana, I got hay fields over there that are crispy.
Yeah.
And you want some crunchy hay. Now we got some rain on it.
I planted food plots the weekend, Labor Day weekend. So I ain't had a drop of rain till last night. In the middle of the night, I noticed my cameras got a little bit of rain last night. I was sure glad to see it. I hope I hadn't lost. I hope I ain't got to replant my food plots now this late in the game. But
as long as it didn't germinate to start with.
Well, that's kind of what I'm worried about, Charles. So I just, it was wet. The ground was moist when I put the seed down because it had just rained, and it was supposed to rain 3 days after I planted. It just never happened. So we'll see. Maybe something green will come up. So for the deers to eat.
Well, you got, how in the South you got, well, how much did it rain? Well, it settled to dust.
Yeah.
And then if you're farming, it's like, well, it was and I'll ride down the road like this morning. I'm looking at, got the end of the driveway. It settled to dust. I don't know how much. I don't see any puddles. There ain't no puddles in the ditch. Okay, so that's another standard. Well, there's puddles in the ditch. No, I look at the dirt road, and the dirt road's muddy. So I know that we got enough. Yeah, we got a little bit of rain now. And now we got a new standard at my house because they came down 73 and they cut all these little rumple strips in the road. Where the center line, center line's got rumple strips in it. They're about 3/4 of an inch deep, and then along the edge of the road. Yep. So if it rains a little bit, you can get some in the edge, but that crown of the road, there's none in those. But there was enough that filled up the ridges in the middle of the road.
Yeah, and so now
we got to get a little bit, and there's still no puddles in the ditch, so it didn't rain that much.
It's soaking it up, boy.
You didn't get 4 inches.
Yeah, it's now I have a gauge. My rain gauge is a swimming pool. I look out back and I see how high is the water in the swimming pool. I did notice a little bit of a difference this morning when I walked out and it was raining. I said, well, that's good. That's good.
I'm just ready. Happy it's not going to be 95.
Yeah.
There is nothing above in the extended forecast I looked at today. There is nothing above 80 something because we're not going to get no 90s for about 10 days.
Does that mean it's over now? It's
over? No, it's absolutely not over.
False.
Middle of
fog.
October, I'll say, yep, probably
Yeah.
over. But I don't know. Weather's been, the weather's weird.
I'm waiting for the snakes to quit crawling so I can go
They've been
throw
looking
some birds out and let the bird dog go hunt some quail. But I don't want her to get snake bit, and I don't want to step on one of them big old. This big old snakes start moving around towards the end of the year, and it's scary.
I don't go in the woods this time of year without snake boots on. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to watch every step I put down, and I'm usually, if I'm in the woods, I'm paying attention to something else. I'm wearing snake boots this time of year, or chaps or
Dogs
something.
don't normally get bit if they don't mess with the snake, but if they get the
And most bird dogs that hadn't gone through snake avoidance training will point a rattlesnake too.
mine don't. She for some reason she's never been through it, but she doesn't like to do anything. She will run right past the snake and keep on going, don't pay no mind to it, and she will turn to look at it, but she don't get close to it. Rusty, on the other hand, I don't know what that bipolar dog does. He on one hand if I'm around, he sees it. He'll run away from it because he knows that he recognizes that shot collar got him during snake avoidance training. But if he thinks I ain't around, he will go kill it.
Yeah.
Because it's like Daddy ain't here, I can do what I want. Because I thought he'd been through all the snake avoidance training that we could get him through, and I'm out there one day on the loader doing some work, moving some trees and stuff around. I look over there and he's running around with a copperhead in his mouth that he's done killed. I'm like, you idiot! What are you doing?
Did it bite him?
No, didn't get him that day. Every now and then he can get one without getting hurt, but
he's got to have has to have built up resistance as many times he's been snake.
Well, he's had the anti-venom like 4 times. Wow. And that stuff's $1,000 a shot.
Ooh.
And actually had to have it twice one time. That's why I carry pet insurance on him just for snake bites. But now we've got the shot collars and stuff, the GPS shot collars on him, and so he knows what his we use the Spot On, which is the expensive one. But man, those things work, and he stays in the yard. I can take the collar off of him. He runs around a little more free, but he won't go past that point out there. He's got like 20-something acres he can run. But if you get on a side by side and you're gonna go for a ride, he'll get out there to it, and he'll sit there and look at you. And if you say, come on, boy, you don't have the collar on, come on, he'll run back to the house. No,
he done learned.
If you put him on the side-by-side and drive past that point, and you have to get out of sight of it. You have to get over the hill. And then like get out. He still won't get off the side-by-side until you say, I think I saw a deer. And if you say the word deer, he bails off that side by side and runs around looking and sniffing, and he's on then. He's just this quirky dog that I couldn't have designed a better dog. He just until he wants to get in my lap at night, and then he will not take no for an answer. And he uses how is it that dogs know all that? How do dogs develop those expressions? Dogs can look at you in ways that just cut to your soul.
That's right.
And they know how to do all. And I don't know if do we groom that into them and by trial and error? Or did God just program them with all the feels involved? I don't
know, man.
I really want one of those French fries, and I'm going to make you feel
that's it.
bad if you don't give me one. And
Skeeter last night said, "You want to go fishing tomorrow morning?" This morning I got up. He's just sitting there, just calmly waiting. Open the door. He's ready to go. Go to the business, straight to the boat.
So you went fishing this morning before you came see us?
Yes, sir. Trying to see if I want to see if under this weather if they'd bite, because I know where some big ones are.
How cool is that you just get up, walk outside, walk down to your dock, get on your boat, go fishing, and then come do something else?
Yes, sir. It was a blessing. But the fish wasn't biting this morning. You would have thought with that cloudy weather, the shad are all on the bottom. We'll talk about the next episode.
But is there anything else you'd rather do than go, even if they're not biting? What else would you rather be doing?
Oh, maybe being in my Bible.
Yeah,
there you go. But
I did that
weren't you really in it out there though?
Yeah, you're right.
In your head, you were.
That's right. It was just this cloudy weather. You would just, man, I was thinking the fish would be jumping, but Mr. Jack Wingate always told me, he said, boy, them bass got their own kind of business. I was like, well, how did I learn that? He said, you better spend a lot of time on that lake. You'd think they'd be biting. You would see activity.
Oh, yeah, there are days, hunting's the same way.
Weird.
I mean, sitting in the tree stand and
But I did see the deer at 4 o'clock this morning out. The acorns have started to fall around the yard. I don't know if that's because we had no rain or if that's just that time of, you know what I mean?
Time of year.
Is it, I was beginning to wonder, I was like, is it from the no rain or just,
No,
but I'm seeing them coming out and eating acorns early. They were out early about 4:30. And I saw a squirrel run across the power line. In the backyard, we have I guess it's a pear tree. That thing had a big old pear running down the power line.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, look at that
pear
thing.
weighs more than the squirrel. Yeah.
Funny.
Those little sandhill pears, they love them
But
things.
they'll start making some nests right now, won't they? Them squirrels, that'll start in the next month, won't it?
Probably. I don't know. I don't keep up with
They
that.
will sit over there and scold you the whole time you're in a tree stand. They will
Yeah.
talk, they will talk to you and aggravate. You'll think a deer's walking up, and Mr. Squirrel moving around in the leaves when they're dry.
I'm sure y'all squirrel hunted on the Apalachicola River.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have.
You didn't, Charlie?
No, I don't. The only time I ever got over to the river was when we went fishing. But I ain't squirrel hunting over there. I'm from a different part of the county. We're over there. We had farming to do.
Yep.
And when we went over there, it's because we'd load up and go get on the river as a kid.
Yeah.
Now it's more to ride around and drink a beer.
No, yeah.
That's a big deal down there. People do that.
Yes, sir.
What, ride around and drink beer?
Well, that and to the squirrel.
Yeah,
hunting.
that's
do that down there.
Oh, yeah. That river swamp where me and you were fishing
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, that's a big deal. They go every sandbar. I have people camped on it waiting on squirrel season to open up and have a big time doing it, too. It's fun. I enjoyed it. We'll be right back.
You good? And we're back.
So how long do you think it's going to be? Today, we're recording the show on Friday the 26th, which is officially the first day of open carry being legal in Florida. Officially.
Well,
It's kind of been.
So all the people are going, well, you have to wait till, whatever. Wasn't nobody going to
So
arrest you,
how
but
long do
now.
you think it will be before somebody slings their AR and goes to Walmart?
I'd be surprised if somebody hadn't already done it.
Yeah.
Somebody wanting to prove a point is out there doing it right now.
Y'all stop. Don't do that.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's your right. It's also your right to do silly stuff, say stupid stuff, walk around, tell flat out bald-faced lies. You can do all kinds of stuff, and that's your right to do it. But it doesn't mean you have to, and it's not in good taste. And all you're doing when you go rub everybody's nose in it is to push people in the middle to the left on this issue.
That's exactly what happened.
Yes, you can, but should you? Well, all you're doing is taking people that would normally vote in your favor and swing your way on this issue, and you're pushing them in the other direction. And that's not a matter of okay, so if you work for somebody and you can tell your boss to kiss your rear end and mean it, and they can't fire you because you got a union. But is it a good idea to do that? Is it really going to benefit your career and your forward movement and your pay next time comes time for a pay? Is that really a good idea? Yeah. So when you depend on these people in the middle to be on our side of things, and then you're going to go rub their nose in something.
Don't do stupid things that causes them to go the other way.
Yeah, you're going to freak out their kids.
So open carries, you can carry you said an AR-15 or
rifle, shotgun, pistol.
You can walk. Now, if you want to do something strictly for political gain, you want to go up and do something in front of the legislature or something that you can do now, and you want to protest. I don't know what you're protesting. We won.
Right.
We do need the legislature. So right now, what we need is the legislature to go clean up the laws in our favor. Okay,
because there's going to have to be substantial changes to the laws as they are currently.
They have to rewrite some laws in order to. Now, you can't be arrested for open carry right now, but they can go back and they could increase the number of places that you can't open carry or carry a concealed firearm if they wanted to. The legislature can go in now because those safe places that they've defined.
Right.
Meetings and schools and things. They could expand that, and they could limit us from carrying in other places that go. Oh well, you you have to have express permission from private property owners in order to carry, instead of it being implied, and then they can tell
or
you
they
have to
could
leave.
go back
They
and
could
say that those signs that say "Don't bring your gun in here" actually have power behind them, because
and then we arrest
some
you.
states
Yeah.
have that.
Absolutely. So
Texas, if they've got a sign posted on their door of their store, and it's a store that's open to the public, and there's a sign on the door that says "Don't bring your gun in here," and you can go to jail. In Florida, the store owner can only ask you to leave. It's not a enforceable
right.
posting.
So we've been saying all this time, if we allow open carry, normally if we passed open carry, but now open carry is the law of the land in Florida. We've said if open carry, it would be like all the other states where there's open carry. There's not any you're not going to see people open carrying everywhere you go. You'll see it from time to time, and we will. I mean, we might do it once in a while just for the heck of it, but it's not going to be something that everybody's just going to, every street corner somebody's going to have a gun on. There will be some people that do. But if you go out now and say, I'm going to do it to prove a point, I'm going to rub everybody's nose in it, and I'm going to jump. That's not how conservatives act. We don't jump up and down when we win a battle. We go. Thank you, Lord. This is the right thing for us to do.
They don't burn down buildings when they kill Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Although emotionally, I would love to see us do some crazy stuff, but logically, we can't do that. It's not the right thing to do. Where's the riots right now? I promise you, if the shoe had been on the other foot, they would be burning down neighborhoods.
And they just went after that person shot them ICE officers and shot detainees.
Yeah, how's that? You're going to go protest ICE and shoot the very people that you don't want them getting because you're an idiot or can't shoot or something. You know, it's just the idiocy of some people.
Did you see the new T-shirts we got out there? The guy that comes.
I didn't see. I saw the Christmas ones. I didn't see the other ones.
There's a really good one on there. It's about Gen X. I said,
you got to go. I'm getting one of those.
Yeah, it says we're not antisocial. We're anti-idiot.
Yeah, for the people on TikTok that were calling us boomers.
Yeah.
I missed it by like 2 years.
Yeah, the boomers are is who you see at all the anti was it no king protests and stuff. That's the boomers. They're the ones in the walkers and the wheelchairs. Sorry, that's just who they are. I mean, and not all boomers are that way, but there's a percentage of them. They were the flower children and the hippies in the 60s.
That's right, and those of us who know, like the good boomers, they called those Woodstock boomers degenerates back in the 60s.
Yeah. Exactly.
But you would think if you go back and look, like growing up, I looked at those years and it seemed like that was the way America was. Everybody was wearing tie-dyed shirts and smoking weed and that's pretty much now, this new generation. But it was not really the majority of our country. It was a sub-segment of our community, kind of like the far left is now. There's the same type of thing.
Grandchildren.
Yeah, so it's
that's right.
They say things skip a generation. A lot of times they do, because you look at the cool grandpa and you want to be more like them, but your parents are kind of they're square and you don't want to be like them.
You have more people on this left. I mean, you got a lot of single family. You know what I mean?
You have far less.
Issues.
You have far left leaning people than you realize. They get the vast majority of the press.
Exactly.
You see them more often. I know they don't hold the majority.
I met a guy the other day who's going to be running for local office, and he said, he said, my friends describe me as left of center. And to me, that's a Democrat. Okay. All right. Left of center tends to be a Democrat. But we agreed on almost everything we talked about, particularly as it related to firearms and some local politics and stuff. I'm like, if you're describing yourself, he said, well, my friends had called me that. And I'm like, well, not on the issues that I care about. So the thing is that most of us in this country can have a conversation. It's the extremes that don't.
That's right.
But sometimes the extremes drive the conversation. Yep. While I didn't agree with, now the people on the far left are doing stuff, and while they have the emotional response and they're pulling, but they're dragging their side further to the left, which is pushing the country further to the right perceptually.
Exactly.
The way people see it is now there are people on the far right of the gun issue. The people who were carrying fishing poles and AR-15s down to downtown Tallahassee because that's what the law says in protest of where we are currently. I agree with them in concept. I count most all of them as my friends. I like them. I didn't agree with that tactic simply because you're pushing people that you count on for votes the other way. We didn't get open carry because of the legislation that they voted for in that case.
Correct.
Okay, and so I think my point was borne out that type of activity doesn't necessarily help us by bringing the mainstream over to our side, but that's the same organization that then sued and got us this. I mean, they're the ones that backed this person that got this case, so I applaud that effort. They did a fantastic job there. There's good tactics and there's bad tactics, and just because I disagree with the particular tactic doesn't mean I don't agree with you or your organization, which I'm a member of, or anything else. I don't have to agree with what you're doing. I just see things from a different perspective sometimes, and that's open discourse. That's how we get along as a country. That's how, and people on the right tend to disagree with each other, is that hey man, I don't know that's a good idea. Y'all have fun with that. Have a good time. People on the left cancel each other and scream at each other and disown each other and boycott each other and all that. I mean, hey, did you see where the Ben & Jerry's co-founder got left the Unilever organization? They were anti-everything right-wing, anti-gun, anti-anything.
Big anti-law enforcement, which is why I don't keep up with Ben & Jerry's.
And so I wouldn't buy Ben & Jerry's because they were donating all this money to the other causes. And we go in the grocery store. I'm like, no, y'all can't have that ice cream. And they were still part of the organization. And Unilever owns it. Now they wanted to spin Ben & Jerry's back off again because they wanted to be able to have their political leanings. And Unilever says no, and you can't do that. And so one of them finally, I guess, retired. He ain't hurting for money, I'm sure. But he packed his stuff and left. Yeah. I still ain't buying their ice cream.
No.
Because
I don't like their ice cream anyway. Bluebell homemade vanilla.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Paul, you been catching any fish? We ain't got, but just a little bit.
Yes, they've been biting.
Except for this
week
morning.
Coming up, it's going to be nice. This morning was a little slow, but it's coming. It's going to be very good.
It's that time of year.
Yes,
I'm ready for it.
Yep.
I think me and you need to make another trip down the river.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, buddy. We'll see y'all next week.